Hello and welcome to Cutting Words. I'm Brad Thompson, and today I'm going to go over the top 3 personal plot hooks in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. You're probably asking, personal plot hooks, what exactly do you mean by that, Brad? And I would reply with, personal plot hooks are things you put in your character sheet, your backstory, for the DM to let them know these are things you were interested in investigating and finding more out on. These hooks are things the DM can take, the Dungeon Master can take, that you have told them you're interested in, and can add to the adventure or expand on, or present options for you to explore further, and really increase their investment in the story and the adventure. So we'll go through this top 3 list, and you should see more about what I'm talking about here. All right, let's dive into it then. All right, coming in at number 3 in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons top 3 personal plot hooks, we have Draconic Gifts. These Draconic Gifts are presented in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, and they have a lot of potential for a lot of different options. So what are Draconic Gifts? They are things that you've gained from dragons, effectively. You can gain them from several different methods. They do have a list of mechanical options here, of different things that can happen from Draconic Gifts, and they can also just be straight up feats. We'll go over a few of those in a moment, but basically what they do is add something extra to your backstory here. Now, straight away, there's a Draconic Marks as well, so typically we inherit one of these gifts. Well, could be inherit, could be a few different options. When you get these gifts, there's normally some visual manifestation, be it one or both your character's eyes change color to resemble the dragon's eyes or scales. The character's hair or a streak of it changes color to match the color of the dragon's scales. A mark like a stylized dragon eye or claw appears in the body. Patches of scale appear on the character's body, typically on the neck, shoulders, or forearms. Those are 4 options in the book. Feel free to come up with some other options. And so you can gain these Draconic Gifts, which can come with an ability, though if it's a backstory thing, it'd be more of something that might unlock later, potentially. But you can start with just some markings that appear, and there are so many options the book presents of how you could gain these gifts. So typically it'd be inheritance from a dragon, which can be a dragon just bestowed this as a kind of dying thing they did, like, I'm dying, I'll bestow my power upon you. Or dragon, you killed the dragon, you drained its power via some kind of ritual, just bathing its blood or what have you. The standard stuff. Alternatively, but especially in a backstory, especially if you're a low level character starting out, you're not necessarily done much interaction with dragons per se, but you could in theory inherit this stuff from a family member who may have done these things, be it dragon bestowed this thing to them and got inherited down when they died, or whatever, that family member died, maybe just goes to the next generation, almost like a family curse of sorts, or blessing, depending on how you look at it. And alternatively, the family member could have slayed a dragon, and that same kind of process is inherited down from that point. Alternatively, again, a completely different option is just happen to be residing for long periods of time within the territory of a dragon's lair. Well, not lair proper, but a region around the lair can have these adverse, almost like a magical radiation effect on you. And the DM can even take this and you do something completely different with it altogether. It could be a blessing from Tiamat or Bahamut or anything really. So just having this kind of vague link in your backstory and wanting to find out more what's going on can really add to the game. A lot of options for a DM to play with. Further, like looking at Draconic Gifts here, there's one that jumps out at me as something that amused me as a potential backstory hook here. Personal plot. It is Draconic Rebirth. So, so you become a Dragonborn with this Draconic gift. You get this gift. Congratulations, you're Dragonborn now. Your old race, that's gone. Pick, depending on the dragon, chromatic, gem, or metallic Dragonborn. And you are now that. You gain 2 skill proficiencies of your choice as well. If you didn't have them already. And yeah, boom, you're a Dragonborn now. What? And that amused me to no end as a potential backstory hook of like just waking up one day as a Dragonborn or whatever and go, what? What do you mean, mate? What is this? And try to investigate that. And that seemed like an amusing potential backstory hook just off that one gift alone. Then also, I know, just like could have been human or elf or whatever, turned into Dragonborn, or amusing twist could have been a lizard folk turned into a Dragonborn or something like that. When it's like, what do you mean you're just a different kind of lizard now? I don't understand. Like, no, it's not what I meant. I don't know. There's some potential fun roleplay there, and as well as potential for investigation of why this happened, and covering the mysteries beyond. And I think that a lot of opportunities for the DM to play with that. So I think it's a great backstory hook options here. Just playing all these Draconic Gifts. And who knows, maybe a particularly kind DM might even let you start with one of these abilities. You never know. Doesn't hurt to ask. Worst they can do is say no, and you can always set yourself up to get one later. Or if you're playing something like a variant human, or one of the Tasha's custom lineage race, you could start with a feat. There's a few Draconic feats in here, or you could reflavor one of the other feats around in one of the other books, and use that as a backstory connection if you want to have a representation of this Draconic gift power. So yeah, there's a lot of options here, and that comes in, Draconic Gifts comes in at number 3. Alright, coming in at number 2, in my Fizban's Treasury of Dragons top 3 personal plot hooks. I don't think of a better name, but we have, at number 2, we have Horde magic items. So these are magic items that gain power based off a dragon's horde or other power invested in it, typically from just absorbing power from seeing a dragon's horde. It can be instant effect by slaying a dragon as well. These horde magic items have tiers of power that can be unlocked, which is a pretty cool concept, though not an original one. Other books have done similar, specifically the Wildmount book had different power levels of items that you exalted them to unlock higher levels in the item. But this is a dragon-themed version of that, effectively, and having magic items that you can level up is always cool, and always just an easy personal plot hook. There's something like, I just want to power up my item for whatever reason, and that's simple and it works and it's fun. Nothing wrong with that. And there's extra things that can be done here as well, like different quirks can happen to the magic item based off the horde it's been in, as well as the horde and power, the horde you get it from, or the dragon or horde you want to level it up from. Depends on what flavor of the power you get in the item. So there can be some decision making if you're playing some kind of dragon hunter or something, when you're trying to level up your weapon, figuring out which dragon you want to go after. That could be very interesting. As well as there's options for sentient items as well. Like there's a Draconic shard option where you can have a shard of a dragon that's hanging out in your magic weapon. That's sentient items are pretty good as well for personal plot. But let's have a look at one of these. There's a few different horde item options here depending on for your class. There's sword, there's a spell focus, and whatnot. But let's look at the sword. That's a classic one. So Dragon's Wrath weapon. So it has 4 tiers. Yeah. So we've got the first level, Slumbering. which means it's an uncommon rarity technically. So the slumbering level, the base level, we have whenever you roll 20 on your attack roll with this weapon, each creature of your choice within 5 feet of the target takes 5 damage of the type dealt by the dragon's breath weapon. So it's pretty cool. Just a little effect that happens when you roll 20. Nice little bonus. And it's a base level stirring. So next level up, we got the weapon has the soaring property. So still got the previous power. In addition, it gains +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made using the weapon. On a hit, the weapon deals an extra 1d6 damage of the type dealt by the dragon's breath weapon. So yeah, pretty solid stuff. Then we got Awakened. Next level up, the Awakened weapon has the Slumbering property and it improves the Stirring property. The bonus to attack and damage rolls increases to +2, and extra damage dealt by the weapon increases to 2d6. As an action, you can unleash a 30-foot cone of destructive energy from the weapon. Each creature in the area must make a DC 16 Dexterity saving throw, taking 8d6 damage of the type dealt by the dragon's breath weapon on a failed save on a successful one. You can do this once a day, effectively. And then the final one, Ascendant. It's the legendary status, so the weapon has a Slumbering property and improves the Stirring and Awakened properties. The bonus to attack and damage rolls increases to +3, and extra damage dealt by the weapon increases 3d6, which, okay, really cooking with gas now. The cone of destructive energy the weapon creates increases to a 60-foot cone, which is huge. The save DC increases to 18 and damage increases to 12d6. So it gets pretty nutso at the high levels there, but you get the idea. This multi-tiered weapon level up is always a lot more fun, and also when you try to work towards leveling up that weapon, has a lot of easy personal plot, working towards figuring out, which dragon to Horde to get into, or dragon to slay, and or level up this weapon to certain tiers. Also, the age of the dragon helps you get to the certain higher tiers of that weapon as well. You can't just slay any old dragon. You've already done can't either get next level up. So you've already done a young dragon, now you find an adult one, or jump straight to an ancient if you're going to jump up a few tiers. So yeah, I think that whole dragon hunting aspect of it, or working with a dragon if you're stashing a Horde for a while to absorb that radiant energy, then yeah, there's just so many options with this, and I think it could really spell for a fun campaign and a fun story, which is what it's all about. And that is why it is number 2. Alright, coming in at number 1 in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons top 3 personal plot hooks, we have, wait for it, here we go, Elegy of the First World, or more broadly speaking, all the added lore to utilize to the world building, to setting, multiple world building, the multiverse, the history of dragons. This is you can, even you're playing a scholarly character, trying to delve deep, a sage trying to find out what's going on, try to piece together the poem presented here, as well as other lore presented in the book, try to piece it all together and do that digging down that deep lore and world building that the DM could take these snippets of and build for the players to uncover. That is great plot hooks. You may not say it's necessarily personal, but you can make it personal. You can be personally connected to some of this. Maybe you hear the voice in your dreams or in your breaking mind constantly of Sardior, the dead ruby dragon. Maybe you're like, oh, maybe you've got a connection with him. Maybe you are him. Who knows? There's things like that you can do. A player can do to hook themselves deeper into the lore and make that personal. Without going too crazy. Maybe being Sardior is a bit crazy there, but being hearing him, maybe he speaks to you like maybe as a child or something. Ruby shard got embedded in you or something, and you somehow got a connection now to the greater gem dragon voice they hear or something like that, or maybe a blessing of a gem dragon. There's lots of different options out there. where you can hook into this lore. So yeah, that's the lore. Looking to the lore, having options to read through lore and go, oh, I want to keep this. I want to investigate, find out more about this, and then connect yourselves to that is great personal plot, and that is why this is number one, because Fizban does it really well. There's some great lore here, and if you're interested in all that, I recommend picking it up and having a read. It is a good read. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Cutting Words. I'm Brad Thompson. This will be my top 3 personal plot hooks in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Catch you next video.